Now I'd like to welcome and introduce Giri Pancharatnam, Chief Data Officer for Chubb, and Priya V from VP of Analytics and AI at Microsoft. Priya, Giri, welcome. Thrilled to have you join us.
Hey, thank you for the opportunity. Happy to be here.
So, maybe we can start with you, Giri. We've, of course, Microsoft, Informatica jointly have been, partners with Chubb and enabling you and the larger team on your data and analytics journey, on your journey to the cloud. Maybe we can just start with your journey with Chubb, Chubb's top business priorities, and how AI analytics and you and your organization are enabling those business priorities.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, as you said, Microsoft and Informatica has been a long-time partner for Chubb. Chubb has grown into the largest commercial insurance carrier in the world, P&C carrier, multi-line. We have operations in 54 countries, and data is at the heart of it. We are an underwriting company. We are a risk company. Data drives our business. So our business priorities are from product development all the way to underwriting and claims. We use data and analytics to drive our business outcomes. And this is starting from looking at how the business is performing today, in the past, but more importantly, how we want to run our business in the future.
You mentioned Informatica and Azure, Microsoft. Could you share a bit about how we have been enabling you? We've obviously been longtime partners, but perhaps a bit about how we've been enabling you and Chubb as you've gone on your journey to the cloud to enable AI and analytics?
Yeah, like I said, Informatica technologies and Microsoft technologies has been part of our landscape, especially supporting the data infrastructure for many years. And about around 5 years ago, we realized to address the nature. And when I talk about nature, the volumes and the varieties of the data, we need to change our traditional data management approaches. And we also consciously made the decision that we can only be successful if we are able to leverage cloud capabilities. So 4 years ago, we started building our data platform in Azure. And leveraging Informatica technologies for our customer data management, as well as data integration using Informatica cloud services. In Microsoft technologies, we've decided to make a first principle PaaS-based data management platform. So we use Microsoft Synapses and Microsoft Azure ML and so on and so forth. So we've created our own internal PaaS platform to manage data for Chubb, and not only manage, but be able to what we call weaponize that data for us to really improve our existing processes as well as predict the future.
Perfect. That's great, Giri. And we're thrilled to be partnering Microsoft and Informatica jointly in enabling you and the larger Chubb organization in continuing their data-led journey. Priya, maybe you could share all the great work that Microsoft Azure is doing enabling customers like Chubb.
Thank you, Jitesh. And it's fantastic to be able to share this moment with you, Jitesh, and on behalf of all of us from Microsoft. First of all, let me start with congratulations. Informatica has been the partner for analytics and in the year of 2020. So fantastic partnership, and what a great story of data is in the middle of all the transformation that you're leading at Chubb. It's great to hear that the joint synergy we have between Microsoft and Informatica is really helping you accelerate the journey. the first thing is, of course, just like how Giri talked about, one of our main goal in the joint partnership also is to be able to address moving of the on-premise data workloads to Azure Synapse and Azure Data Lake Storage, because companies today are paralyzed by I'm having a lot of this market dynamic changes, which we all are going through, right? What can I do? How can I modernize? How can I create a data-driven environment for myself? And then, of course, many of them are stuck by the on-premise cost. People are proactively looking for appliance migrations because they just want to reduce cost and quickly innovate, because the time to how we engage with our customers has been rapidly changing, especially during this last 6 months of pandemic crisis. So I think it's very appropriate. Our joint teams, Jitesh, between Informatica and Microsoft, has come up with this fantastic POV offer. So if you ask me, the POV offer that what we have is pretty much about discovering and getting data from these legacy sources, which you have long lineage with our joint customers into Azure Data Services, which is Synapse and ADLS. And ensuring the data is kind of getting cleaned and prepared and governed and protected and landing at the right places. So we've had phenomenal success, just like what Giri talked about at Chubb, and a long list of customers. And I can't wait for more success jointly as our teams are executing it.
Perfect. I couldn't agree more, Priya. Thank you. It's been a tremendous partnership and continues to be. The POV, the proof of value, is a great testament of how our two organizations have come together and enabled a go-to-market by, in a very coordinated and deliberate fashion, to enable Giri and Chubb, as well as many other customers globally. And equally, we're not just enabling on the go-to-market side, we're investing in innovation in a very deliberate manner, with deep integrations with ADLS Gen 2, with Synapse, with the Power BI team as well. So there's a tremendous amount of innovation and investment that's gone into building a joint, highly tightly integrated solution. And there's a lot more exciting innovation and joint integration to come to further enable the proof of value and further, Giri, enable some really compelling capabilities for you and your team.
Jit, it's great to hear about how our joint partnership have helped Chubb, and we have a long partnership. Azure Synapse is our flagship analytics offering, and our teams have been at work in terms of working on tighter product integrations. I'd like to know from you, for our larger audience benefit, what are some of the investments Informatica is making from a data management perspective to help our joint customers?
That's a great question, especially because we have been a market leader in enabling data-driven outcomes on-premise for a very deliberate and optimized architecture on-premise. And what works on-premise does not work in the cloud. Cloud is a completely different metaphor. Cloud is an elastic serverless environment. It's compute-driven. It is, and for all of those reasons, we have innovated in what data management, what data integration, data quality, metadata management, master data management needs to look like in the cloud. And for those reasons, we've invested in elastic scale capabilities, leveraging Spark and Kubernetes. We're building out serverless capabilities to ensure our joint customers get all the economic benefits of scaling up on Black Friday, scaling back down when you don't need the compute resources. We're also building advanced push-down capabilities to optimally process data on Synapse itself, because ETL is important, but ELT, extract, load, and transform, what we call advanced push-down optimization capabilities, are equally important. So we're certainly innovating on the engine and on the back end to help organizations accelerate the building out of their data pipelines at cloud economics and cloud scale. And we're also ensuring that we jointly present more of a seamless experience to our end users, the data community that we, Azure and Informatica, jointly support. So a lot of great innovation coming.
That's fantastic to hear. I'm personally thrilled for the Informatica Intelligent Cloud Services, which I believe is now transactable in Azure Marketplace. So a long way to go, but this is fantastic. Thank you, Jitesh.
We love a long way to go. It's ensures we keep pushing the limits, and couldn't be thrilled to have an innovation partner like Azure joining us on this journey and supporting Giri's AI and analytics journey. Giri, so what does the future look like for Chubb with regards to being more data-led from an AI and analytics perspective? Where are you going next, and how can we enable you?
Yeah, thank you for that question, and it's an important one because the future keeps changing and for us, changing on us. So my view on that is we still are not using 100% of our internal data, let alone external data, and we barely scratch the surface on unstructured data that's available internally and externally. So our future to really weaponize data, to really put the data to use, monetize that data, we need to advance scale of our operations in data, the global scale of our operations, and that's where global companies like Microsoft and Informatica come into play, because you have operations, you have technologies everywhere that we have operations, and we need to be able to come up with new solutions. As the world change, we are reacting and we are being proactively looking at how we need to adapt to that change, and risk profiles changing all the time with the climate change and with COVID, and so we have to be on our toes to really maximize the use of our data, to understand the future and adapt to it and change our course. And that's my word on the future.
Makes perfect sense. Agility, resiliency, scalability are foundational pillars of innovation for global enterprises moving forward. Makes perfect sense. Giri, Priya, I know we don't have a lot of time, but I'd really like to thank you both for your time today. Really, thank you so much. And Giri, first, as Chief Data Officer, kudos to you and your team and all the great work and all the great accomplishments. And also a special compliment to you on your sense of style. The blue sweater with the collared shirt is a great look. I couldn't agree more with you on that. And Priya, equally thank you and the larger Azure Microsoft team on the partnership. Looking forward to the continued innovation and delivery of value together to customers such as Chubb globally.
Thank you, Jitesh.
Thank you for your time today.